From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show as well. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. The Butch is back on Spaced Out Radio as Butch Witkowski joins us for his monthly feature, Strange Days. A no-nonsense former police officer, Butch spends what is supposed to be his retirement chasing down monsters and UFOs. Why does he do it? Well, it's because he's tired of the questions and very few answers to what is actually going on in this supernatural world. Butch's website is uforcop.com. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Mr. Butch Witkowski, it is always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. Thank you so much for returning.
Quite welcome. I look forward to it at the end of every month.
Yeah, me too, my friend. Me too. And so does the audience. And you know, you continue to be one of our biggest draws on this show every single month. So I thank you for that.
No problem, son.
Oh, you're welcome, Dad. You're welcome. But for people, you know, and I'm looking in our chat rooms and I'm seeing a bunch of new faces in here, which I absolutely love when that happens. You know, when you are doing this, and you are now going into your 30th year doing this and investigating the weird and strange, is the chase still fun for you?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. If you know, I've done it more than one time where it'd be bad weather and I would sit staring out the window hoping that it would change so I could get going. No, I thoroughly enjoy it. You know, it's not that, you know, I'm going to bag something and drag it home laying over top of the truck, but it's just the thrill of knowing that there's something out there and I need to know that it's true and I need to have some kind of proof that I can bring forward to show that it really is true.
What do you want to be true, though?
Oh, bipedal canine, Bigfoot, anything, pretty much anything paranormal. It's all paranormal. I mean, you know, people say, well, no, the paranormal is only ghosts. Well, not really. Everything's paranormal. You got UFOs, you've got strange creatures, you've got Bigfoot, you've got, you know, there's just so many things. The rake's the big thing now. You know, abduction. It's all paranormal. It's not normal. So if it's not normal, I want to chase it.
Now, Butch, for someone like you, you have been retired for a number of years from your daytime job, and yeah. You know, you could be doing anything you want at this time, yet you are spending tens of thousands of your own dollars each year chasing down monsters. What do the people around you, what does Mrs. Butch say about this?
Wait a minute, she's in bed. Oh, yeah, I can say, okay. No, I mean, she has an interest in it, you know, not as much as I do, but, you know, she has certain beliefs of stuff that, you know, she's seen me talk about, read about, write about, investigate, and, you know, she has her terms to deal with. I mean, she's seen UFOs, you know, with me. She believes that the bipedal canine is actually a skinwalker. You know, I may differ on that, but kind of like Bigfoot with me, you know, there's something out there. I mean, you can't, like I keep saying this, you can't keep calling everybody a liar, and everybody's out there hoaxing, running around in a suit. That doesn't work. So there's something out there. And when you look at the area, I mean, that these things have been cited in, like, especially in your area. I mean, I've looked at overhead maps of British Columbia, Hell, if you get out of the car on a road and turn right, you're lost. You're done. They'll never find
pretty
your
much.
body.
No, pretty much.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if it's the thrill of the chase or it's just the thrill of the unknown. But I just have this thing that I just need to know. I really need to know.
Are the answers out there, Butch? And if they are out there, are they within grasp?
Yeah, they're there. It just, you know, it's one of those things where you're not going to find it on the internet, that's for sure. You're not going to find it on YouTube, that's for sure. But, you know, if an investigator or a researcher reads and goes out and looks and documents and, you know, just uses a little deductive reasoning, I mean, you know, they can get a good thing going. But although I got to say that there are a number of new researchers out there that's exactly what they're doing. And the old investigators off of the internet, they've kind of weaned off. You don't see much of them anymore. So hopefully the new crop coming up is going to do their thing, because they are younger, they're a lot smarter. They you know, their techniques and technology use is super high. They're what I like to call myself also is a skeptical believer. So, you know, I should have been born in Missouri. Show me.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Butch Witkowski is here tonight. Butch, you brought up the fact that there's a lot of new investigators out there, and we see it in every realm, whether it's ghosts, whether it's UFOs and aliens, whether it's cryptid sightings, people running into the forest. What's the difference between that younger generation who is just coming into the field and someone like you who has been doing this a long time and has a lot of life experience?
I think they're more open-minded than I was in the very beginning. You know, I questioned everything, and these the folks that are out there now, they hit the dirt with more knowledge. You know, they've read up, or let's just say they're looking at a certain particular case. They'll go to the end, where before researchers, they flop from one case to another on a daily basis. You know, their big thing was getting it out on the internet or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, where you don't see that much or that kind of stuff from the younger groups coming up now. And it's pretty cool, because I get a lot of emails. But now, I'm getting emails from investigators in Arkansas, California, Michigan, Georgia, South Texas, and they're newbies to the group. I mean, they're just coming out, and you know, they said we've only been I've only been doing it a year or two or three, and you know, they'll ask some technical questions, or how to make a cast, or what type of equipment they should be using to do star watches, and the simple stuff. But that's stuff that investigators not so many years ago would not share with anybody. I mean, they would poo-poo the new guys coming in, and if they tried to get information, they had to go to a conference. Well, conference over the last 20 years have been the same people all the time. Nobody different. Just the same old people talking about the same old cases and the same old stories. And, they weren't getting anything out of that. So I find them to be more apt to listen to radio shows like Spaced Out, or, other shows, or to spend more time researching a particular case, or if they have a case in a particular area, they will actually, if they can't get to that area, they'll do everything they can to find out the background of that area, if there's been anything in the past that resembles what they've got in their investigation. And it was quiet for a while over this COVID-19 thing, because, people weren't getting out anywhere. And they had other problems, you know, they weren't getting paid, or they were getting paid, and, you know, they were living day to day, or whatever the case may be. But it's cleared up now. We were let loose on Friday here in Pennsylvania, in my county, and I've gotten deluged with information, everything from UFOs to rakes to Bigfoot, bipedals. It's nuts. And you know, people want to know when we're going to do another Star Watch, or if we can do a Star Watch at their location and stuff like that. So I've been busy doing that, and, you know, catching up on the stuff I was doing. But it is, I don't want to say it's the gold. It's going to be the golden age of paranormal research, but it's going to be pretty damn close.
Butch Witkowski is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, In for Strange Days, his monthly feature. Butch, in regards to the younger group that is coming in, you say they're more studious, they're more academic with what they are trying to investigate. Just curious in regards to that, do you get a lot of younger researchers reaching out to you and saying, hey, you know, how do I go about looking for Bigfoot or Dogman, or how do I investigate ghosts properly?
Well, yeah, they want technique. You know, they've done their homework, but now they need the technique. So, you know, the tricks and trips of the trade, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. You know, on what they should do on the scene, how they should set up cameras, what type of camera should they be using. They describe the area they're going into, and what's the best time of the year to see these things, and you know what I mean. Well, you give them what you got. You know, I can only tell them what we've done. I don't speak for other researchers and how they do their thing. I do my thing. My group does their thing, and that's the way it is. So I just tell them what we do. What works for us could work for them. I'm not guaranteeing them it's gonna, but I'm saying it could work for them. And it is about, if I had to relate back 10 years to now, the researchers that are coming in right now, they're more qualified before they even get in the field, because they'll do the background research, which the older groups never did that. They just went out and barrel around the woods, you know, throwing pork chops here and there and stuff. But it's really cool to talk to these people. And I'll tell you another thing. It's a lot of husband and wife teams. A lot. If I had to say the last 10 emails or phone calls I corresponded with over information, they were all husband and wife teams. Every one of them.
That's actually kind of cool.
That's strange. Oh, I think it's great. Strange, but it's great.
Well, I mean, it sure adds up in, you know, trying to figure out what the heck could I do with my spouse now. Yes, that would be interesting to say the least. No, but I think it's great. I think it's very cool that people are coming together and bonding over this. You know, safety is always a factor when out in the field, Butch. You know, and I look at myself, okay? Like the other day, I went out in the forest, and yes, I had my buddy Mark with me, and we were safe, and we were armed and everything like that. But, you know, I kind of kicked myself in the butt afterwards. And the reason why is, you know, I went into the forest with my phone only at about 30% charged. And I said, well, and that's exactly what I said to myself. I said, you know, this is very foolish of me doing this. And, you know, normally I'm someone who is watching that kind of stuff, you know, like I have a medical kit in my vehicle, you know, just in case something happens or whatever it may be. I know I'm not going near any cliffs or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about, you know, rolling my vehicle or anything, because our area up here is pretty flat when you're on top of the mountains. But safety wise, what are some of the commonalities that you, or safety precautions you take in order to go into the field? Well,
first of all, I always tell everybody, and I have since day one, don't go out alone. That's just foolish. A group of 2 or 3 or 4 is fine. Make sure that people know where you're going. Notify family, friends, whatever. First aid kits are really good. In the summertime, you want to have water, a little something to chew on. In the wintertime, you want to be dressed warm. A good knife is always handy. Communication with a cell phone is great. And we carry, and I don't say everybody should go do this. I'm not promoting this, but I got portable. It's a portable charger. So you charge it at home, and it'll charge a laptop. So if the phone, is down on power, you just plug that in, the charge.
Are you there, Butch?
You
kind of cut out there for a quick second.
Oh, where was I?
Talking about the phone charger.
Oh yeah, the phone charger is great. And like I said, if you need a charge, you just plug it in, and it's good for days, absolute days. Flashlight always, rope. It's just common sense stuff, really. It's anything exotic, but safety is a big thing, and the biggest part of safety is telling people where you're going, where you're going to be, what time you're going to be there, and when you're supposed to be home. So if you say to your family, yeah, I'm going to be home at 8 o'clock, and it's now 10 o'clock the next morning, things need to roll, because, I can't believe people go out and do this on their own, but there's some that still do it. And, you fall, you break a leg, or you walk into a tree at night, or whatever. I've done that already. It's just a lot of common sense stuff. It's nothing really out of the ordinary. And if you're going into a state park, you want to stop at the ranger station and let them know you're there. Because some of these places that these people are going, and I tell them all the time, deer and squirrels are not the only thing in the woods. There are things in the woods that will eat you, And just basic, it's really basic survival techniques that you're using for a day. But, we've gone out to help other groups already where, they didn't have the equipment, or they had the manpower, but they say they didn't have the type of equipment they needed to do what they were going to do. So we went out to help them. But, they catch on quick. They really do. And safety is like the first. That's the most. Now, doing a sky watch, safety there includes a lawn chair, something to drink, and that you can recline back with your binoculars, and you're good to go. You're going into the wilds of British Columbia or mid-state Pennsylvania into the state forest. You need to have a little bit more common sense there. Paranormal people, they're just hard to talk to because they think nothing can happen. But there have been people killed doing paranormal research. People have fallen through floors, walked down a flight of steps that stopped in the middle and dropped them, a story or two down into a basement. They've been impaled, on stuff, walking around in the dark. So paranormal, I always say, extreme caution when you're in a building. I don't care if it's an old hospital or it's an old house or you're walking around an old graveyard, because you can fall in a hole in a graveyard. So, and once you break a leg or two, that kind of straightens them right up. But not so much on paranormal groups anymore. You don't hear much about them. I know there's a couple out there yet, but the ones that are, I guess, the most listened to are the ones on TV. And I always tell people, no. But it's it's just safety. Just be street smart when it comes to safety, and make sure that I always tell everybody the same thing. And I've said it 3 times now. I'll say it the 4th time. Make sure people know where you're going, when you're going to be home, when you're leaving, and who's with you.
That is key. You have to.
Yes.
And the other thing too that we recommend, and I'm sure you'll agree with this as well, is if you have no family around you, and you're going into the forest, drop your local police station a quick phone line, to the non-emergency line, and just say, hey, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. Yes, you can have a good laugh at me, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm going out and, I don't, my family's away for the weekend, and I just want to make sure somebody knows where I am.
And another thing, if you're going on private property, you want to make sure you contact the owner and let them know you're going to be there. You don't want to be trespassing anywhere because, there are some spots here in Pennsylvania that they don't care who you are or what you're investigating. You step on the property and the police are coming and taking you for a ride. So, you want to get permission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because some people, that don't let you on the property, it's not so much that they don't want you there or, whatever the case may be. They don't want to be sued if you fall and break your leg. So it's like some of the caves here in Pennsylvania. We can't get into them because they're on private property and, they're blocked off or they have a fence up or whatever. But I talked to one guy, and, he said, if you're just going to be here for a couple hours, no problem. I'll open the gate. Let me know when you're here. Let me know when you leave so I can close the gate, blah, blah, blah. But that was, common courtesy because, you're really not on your own property. It's not like you're in your own backyard.
No, and I understand that. And you have to know where you're going and where you're going to be. And if you're unsure, just don't go there. It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, and people should make themselves aware of, what type of animals are in the area they're in. Everybody thinks a black bear is cute and cuddly. It'll rip you apart in a heartbeat.
Especially if they have cubs.
It's just, in the summertime, you got to beware of snakes. Get a pair of snake gaiters if you're going to be out in the summertime running around in the woods. There's just little things, and they're common sense. It's not like the woods are empty and you're going to be the only person or group in there. I mean, there's a lot of things in there that can hurt you. And
of course,
I just think, most of the people I've dealt with over all these years, they're pretty common sense wise, went about their jobs the way they were supposed to.
Absolutely. Butch, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to come back right after the break here at the bottom of the hour with more Butch Witkowski's Strange Days. Butch's website is uforcop.com. That's UFORCOP.com. I highly suggest you check it out. He's one of the people we trust around here that if you have a sighting and you want quality research and researchers to look into it, Butch is your guy. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters, thank you so much for taking the time to tune us on in. Reminder to all of you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with Butch Witkowski. Strange Days happens at the end of each month, where we hang out and talk about all the weird and strange happenings around the world with the man, the myth, and the cranky legend himself, Butch Witkowski. His website, uforcop.com. Butch, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
I got to ask you, I was talking with Nathan Rudd this past month, about a week ago tonight, actually. And anyways, one of the things that we were discussing was about evidence of Bigfoot. And I guess you could throw Dogman in there as well, or these bipedal canines. You know, and one of the things that has me a little bit baffled with everything is these shelters, man. These shelters that just seem to, it's either trees bent into each other, almost like a teepee, or trees that are in between each other, and it looks like they're like standing pickup sticks or whatever it may be. You know, there's a lot going on here, man. What do you think about these structures that people are finding in the forests?
Oh, they're finding some real beauties. There was a photograph on, I think it was YouTube, where a guy, he said it was like an igloo made out of wood. He said he said whoever did it had strength, because some of the trees used were 3 and 4 inches in diameter, and they were bent and intertwined. Now, I know a lot of guys that are pretty strong, but I can't see somebody bending, a fresh tree that's 3 or 4 inches in diameter and then weaving it into, an igloo-looking like hut. So, but then, you go like this, well, did you take any samples from inside of it? Dirt, hair, anything you found inside, and they go like, no. Oh, God. Yeah, they're kind of strange, but, these things, they've evaded people for many, many hundreds of years. And people say, well, how do people not see them in a wooded area? Well, at this point, if they don't want to be seen, you're not going to see them. That's the end of that. I mean, there's no question about that. That'd be like taking me out of Pennsylvania and dropping me in the middle of British Columbia somewhere. That'd be it. Done. So, not that I'd be hiding, but I'd be lost. And here in Pennsylvania, we have so many abandoned coal mines and towns and caves. I mean, they could be anywhere. I mean, and another thing, I don't know how much hunting you did, but when I was still hunting, I walked past a coyote one time. It was like 2 foot away from me. Never saw him. My buddy turned around, he looked at me and said, "Did you see that coyote?" I'm like, "No, what coyote?" "I didn't see it." He said, "You walked right past it." I said, "I didn't see it." So if these things are as elusive as we all think they are, that's, we're just fair game. And then you gotta throw it out there. I mean, people always want to hear it. Nobody can prove it yet, but are there portals? Are they interdimensional? Can they reappear? Or can they appear and disappear? Bipedals, people, first thing they want to know is, are they dangerous? And we had a couple instances that got a little hairy, but going way back as far as I could go with background research on the bipedals, I really never found anything. Now, there are some instances of people who say they were attacked, but, I'm thinking that a creature that looks like that would attack you. There wouldn't be a whole lot left of you to even report anything to anybody. And then you have those cases down in North Carolina, the Sunday school teacher. They still haven't determined what killed her. Now that's odd. There's just so many weird things going on out there, and it's hard to put your finger on some of this stuff because there aren't a whole lot of books out there on the subject. No matter what you're doing, there's just not too many books. I mean, if you want to read about Roswell or Area 51, there's hundreds of those. But if you want to read about bipedals or Bigfoot or rakes or anything like that, those books are few and far between. The people out there that I work with, and Mr. Strickler happens to be one of them, we, the Fortean team that he has set up, they are all seasoned investigators. So, I mean, if I can't figure something out on a case, I can bounce that off the team. I can bounce it off of my team. So it's not like, and I see some guys do this a lot where they'll begin to research something and they're getting nowhere and they have nowhere to turn to or nobody to talk to that they're aware of, and they just drop the case. And that's not good either.
Well, you never want to drop a case just because...
Rakes you have.
Yeah.
You have UFOs over Houston, Texas, Miami, Florida, Ohio. I mean, good video. The rake phenomenon is still on. But I figured a lot of that had to do with when the weather cleared and a lot of these places were being opened up because of the virus, that people could get out. And I kind of figured a lot of stuff would be coming in. But, it's strange. It's like I said, the old researchers, and I mean, the well-known ones, the ones that we all know, with all the conferences being shut down, it's even more silent from their end. But there's quite a few teams in the U.S. that are out there working all over. I mean, just covering almost every state. I know Lon with the Fortean team has a bunch of people out there. I have a bunch of people out there. So we cover pretty well, most of the country. And if we don't, we'll find somebody that does. And, the flying things in Chicago, I still can't wrap my head around those. I don't know what the hell they are. But it keeps you busy. That I'll tell you. I can't imagine somebody working an 8 to 5 job and 9 to 5 job going out and doing this every night. Like you said, I'm retired, so I can put all the time I want into it. And but there's a lot of stuff going on in Canada, Puerto Rico, overseas, England, Brazil. Poland had a bunch of sightings. So it's not like they weren't there before and they just all of a sudden popped up. But people were locked up, They were just not going anywhere. They weren't outside. They weren't looking up. They weren't doing sky watches or anything like that because of the virus. But now that's, I guess, slowing down some. People are getting out more. The reports are coming in more. So it's going to be an interesting year. I really believe that. It's going to be an interesting year. Bigfoot sightings are up. UFOs are on the rise. The one that baffles me the most, abduction reports, they went silent.
Really?
I haven't read or seen one in, I'll bet you, 6 months.
Wow. Why do you think that is? Why would something so phenomenal all of a sudden go quiet?
Dave, I honestly couldn't give an answer to that because the ones that I had read prior, a few months ago, they were older reports. They were family members relating something that happened to them when they were younger, that kind of thing. But as far as new reports of abductions and stuff like that, no, they're just not there. They're just not there. And I check many sites when I'm looking for information, and I try to keep up with all the sites that have and log calls and reports of all types. And just struck me the other day that abduction reports just went eerily silent and just not there. There just aren't any there. I mean, there's a lot of older ones. I mean, ones that we're all familiar with, you know, but new ones, no. And I don't know what. I don't know why. I have no answer for that.
Do you think it's because people are more aware, or do you believe it's because we're stuck at home and, you know, we've gotten lazy and we're pretty much sleeping through this stuff now?
I think it's that. I think a lot of it's that. Although there are a lot of active investigators, I mean, that this thing didn't bother them at all. I mean, they're just going great guns. I know the Fortean team's busy. I know we're busy. I know a couple other groups that are busy. So it's, I wouldn't say it's 50-50, probably 30, 30% are out doing their thing, and the other 70% are just, waiting for their time to get out. But we've had a lot of rain, a lot of warm weather, so our forests have filled up.
Right. I love Steph's comment. I love Steph's comment in the chat. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I have a tree line behind my property, and I just said to my wife the other day, I said, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we could see beyond that tree line. Now you can't even see the tree line. I mean, it's just black, just all grown in.
I like Steph's comment here in our YouTube chat room where she says, the aliens are self-isolating.
Well, no, maybe.
Maybe. Nikki goes on to say, Butch, they haven't stopped. She's in Washington State. The abductees may be instructed by the aliens not to report them.
I've heard that before. There was a case about 6 years ago out of Florida where an individual claimed to be abducted a few times, quite a number of times, as a matter of fact, and was basically told, you don't discuss this with anybody or it's not going to bode well for you. And he didn't until he got a little older and got to the point where I guess he didn't give a rat's ass and just went out and did what he had to do, report it. And nothing happened, so I guess he was happy about that. But, yeah, why not? I mean, you got men in black running around all over the place. You got the government teasing with all their videos of things here, things there. So I guess we're going to see. Everybody thinks this is the year for disclosure, but I got news for them. Disclosure was made a long time ago. I mean, it's not like that's going to be something new. I mean, people know what's up there. They know what they see going across the sky, at unbelievable speeds or change color or triangles that are really high up and very large or multiple sightings of orbs. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on. I don't think disclosure is going to be anything.
That brings up a good point, because I'd like to get your opinion on last week where Marco Rubio, who is part of the Intelligence Committee, the head of it for the Senate, came out saying we want funding in the next budget for UAP research. What was your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, he's not the only one. That's been tried for many, many years to get funding. Now, do they have the funding? Most likely, yes. Do these senators and congressmen know exactly what's going on? Most likely, no. I don't know why that is. I mean, this stuff has been reported by astronauts, ground stations, satellite relays. I mean, there's just so many reports. It's crazy. I mean, I forget what we have here in Pennsylvania from 1947 until I think last week when I looked. We got what was it, 1,900 or 2,900 reports filed. So, and you know, we're not California. California is loaded. And then, of course, when there's really a good sighting like Stevensville or Phoenix, Arizona, everybody argues with everybody what it was. I mean, there are multiple witness sightings to describe something the same way at the same time is a flap, period. That's it. Ain't nothing else. It's a flap. If you have one person that sees something in the sky, it's a report. But if you have, like, take Phoenix, for example, you know, you had people all over the place reporting that. And they were reporting exactly the same thing. So that's a flap, but they don't call it a flap. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it is interesting to see what's going to happen with this whole budget aspect, because I think there is a large group, and I could be wrong about this, but maybe the woo in me believes that there is a large contingency of the military and the alphabet groups who know exactly what's going on with this UFO phenomena. And we also know that they have been keeping it in the dark from a lot of people, Butch, especially the public and the elected officials who are in Washington. Why all of a sudden do you think it's important for somebody like Marco Rubio or the Intelligence Committee to bring this, or at least try to bring it, to public light?
That question's been asked a lot. And, you know, some people say, well, they're going to make a full disclosure where they're going to tell people that they've been here, they are here, here they are, we're going to introduce you to them, and, you know, they're good old boys and all this stuff. But I think it's at the point now where retired military officers and personnel are now telling people, you know, they're putting out what they saw. There are videos, there are eyewitness testimony. I just listened to a combat pilot, had 137 combat missions, you know, describing exactly what we're seeing now that he was seeing in the 50s. And I guess you can only hold something in so long, and when everybody keeps denying it and you know it's true, or what you saw or what you went after or however you chased it or whatever, kind of gets in your craw, and then you speak out. You know, you just let it out. But I mean, but that's in everything. I mean, it's in Bigfoot. I mean, paranormal, almost all cryptozoology, the bipedal. I mean, it's there. Now, the rakes, it's a little hard for me to swallow. But, you know, that was actually started in England as an old wives' tale to make kids behave. You know, like if you stay out too late, the rakes will get you. You know, if you don't eat all your Brussels sprouts, the rakes will come and get you at night. You know, that stuff just carried on. Plus, you had two movies come out, one in 2003, another one in 2018 on the rakes. And every picture you see on the internet of a rake is a still shot from one of the movies. So I'm not really getting too excited about rakes. UFOs, they're there. You can't doubt it. I mean, we don't have anything that can do the flight characteristics of what these things do. We just don't. I mean, you can't watch something go zigzagging across the sky from horizon to horizon and stop and then shoot straight up into the stars. I mean, there's no way. We don't have anything. You couldn't do that with a rocket. And then you talk to some people that have seen a bunch. One trooper, where we were doing a Star Watch, there was a trooper, you know, that pointed one out to me that was making like pretty much U-turns in the sky and then took off. And I said to him, I said, "You ever see anything like that before?" And he went like, "No, hell, we see them all the time." And I'm like, okay. So, you know, and then there's, some police officers will tell you what they see, others won't. Some people will give you really good information, photographs or documentation or multi-witness sightings. Mm-hmm. And that's as far as they want to take it. You know, they don't want to get any more involvement. They don't ever want to see your ugly face again. So a lot of it's I think, is human nature, that people that want to tell you what they saw, no matter what it is in the paranormal, that they'll be classified as a lunatic, or they'll lose their job, or, their wife will leave them or something like that. But on the whole, I think we've been very fortunate, both in the Fortean team from Phantoms and Monsters and with my team, that we've gotten a lot of good cooperation, a lot of good information. We've had people offer information that they knew we were looking for, that they had and we didn't, and they didn't have to get involved, but they did, and that was really cool. And then you got, you have various radio shows that put out the information, like you guys, Arcane Radio. I mean, there's a bunch of radio stations out there. Not a lot of them ain't real big, but they get out the truth, and that's the whole thing in a nutshell. You're dealing with a search for the truth. So if somebody feeds you a bunch of somebody feeds you a bunch of BS, you're just going to turn around and push the BS. So the best thing there is, you just take it for what it is. You listen to people, you answer the questions, and if you can help them out, put them in the right direction, or maybe you can't help them get something done, or obtain information that they actually really, really need. With the amount of people that we deal with in the teams, we can get somebody to get them that information. We never hear from them again, but just the fact that we were able to help them out is always a good feeling.
We've got about 90 seconds here before we go to break at the top of the hour. Butch Witkowski and Strange Days continues here on Spaced Out Radio. Butch, with everything that's going on in the UFO world right now, a lot of people believe that this whole threat phenomena is a good thing. Do you consider UFOs a threat, or are we overreacting here?
I think they're more malevolent than they are benevolent. So until something proves me otherwise, I think I'm going to keep that the way it is. But, people always say, what should I do if something starts to land or it gets close? And I always tell them, run like hell. I'm not going to tell them to stand there and wait for somebody to talk to them. Get out of there. But I just think they're more malevolent than they are benevolent. And if they weren't malevolent, there wouldn't be any abductions or cattle mutilations.
Oh, come on. Not all aliens are bad, man. Not all aliens are bad. I know you got like an elf character living in your house somewhere. You have to.
No, I got gnome.
Yeah, gnomes wouldn't surprise me. My friend, I'm going to get you to hold on right there as we're going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days happen near the end of each month, where we bring in Butch, we hang out, we talk a bunch of monster stories. Coming up, we're going to get into the rake, we're going to get into the bipedal canines, Dogman, you name it, we're going to get into it. Why? Because that's what we do around here on Spaced Out Radio, and we're going to take your questions as well. Joey, your question in the SOR Space Travelers is coming up next. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there. The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across the continent and on the digital side on Revolution Radio and TalkStream Live. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Fluorescent. Fluorescent is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR or at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with Butch Witkowski from UFOcop.com. Butch comes in near the end of each month where we talk about all things weird, strange, and supernatural. Butch, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Let's get to some questions right off the bat here. Let's go to Joey here in the Space Travelers Club on our website, who is asking, the location of the Sierra Sounds in the Sierra Nevadas also had an anomalous moving light streak at that location, as reported by David Politis. Butch, what's your opinion of that location, and are you interested in investigating there?
Yeah, it's not the same, but similar to the Brown Mountain Lights. I mean, there's a couple places in the country where you have strange lights and phenomena that accompany it. Nobody seems to know what the sounds are. I mean, and there's been geological studies done by the government many, many times. And it's puzzling. We went down to the Brown Mountain Lights. We saw them. We photographed them. We videoed them. I couldn't tell you what they are. I mean, they appear out of nowhere, and they're just multicolored orbs. Sometimes there's 1, 2, sometimes 1, 2 split into 4 or 5. There's no explanation for it. I mean, now I have a theory on it, but you know, a theory is like butts. Everybody's got one. The mountain is mostly quartz and iron, and if there's any type of underground movement, that could cause a piezo effect. But we can't find any faults anywhere near that location, so that kind of takes that out of the picture, I guess, for a while. But there have been many studies down there. And then when you get down there and you start talking to people, there have been a lot of abductions, a lot of strange lights, injuries from the lights. So, like the Cash Landrum case, it's something that a lot of people see, a lot of people have witnessed, and still don't have an answer.
All right. Andrew over the UK is asking, Butch, if we have some really bad human beings out there, does it go without saying that aliens must have the same bad aliens and good aliens?
That's possible, sure. Look, if they want to attack and destroy this planet, I'm sure that they have the wherewithal to do that. If you have a group that just wants to screw around with cattle mutilations and abductions and stuff like that, and downing aircraft or opening up wormholes in the sky, and, you know, Alaska with 16,000 people missing, not all abducted, but yeah, there has to be, you know, a difference there, good and bad. Now, I had a guy write me one time a 6-page email that told me that he witnessed a war in the sky. You know, and he went into great detail. Now, I don't know how far that was going to go, but I read it and filed it, and, you know, is it possible? Sure, anything's possible. The hard part is, you know, thinking critically and demanding the evidence. That's the hard part.
All right, let's move on to Nathan's question. Butch, are there any new recent Dogman reports that you've come across?
Nope, we're not in that season yet. That'll start pretty much around September, October, into November is when we get most of those reports. And for the life of me, I have no idea why. Now, even when we went up that first time in September, I mean, we couldn't use cameras or anything. The woods were just still, the leaves weren't down yet, you know, the brush was high. So this year, I think we're shooting for late October to hit our 2 research areas up in northern Pennsylvania. And but they're, you know, I may not have a sighting report for months, and then I'll get 2 or 3.
Why so late a season for them?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, even the first one we got, I mean, it was autumn. There were a couple that we had in autumn. I only had, I think, 1 or 2 out of our cases, out of the 40 and teens cases, that were, you know, still in the summer. Most of them, a lot of them occurred during hunting season. But that, you know, you're talking about autumn, October, November. I don't know. I don't know why the weather change would bring them out.
Interesting. All right. The Michael Leger is asking, Butch, have you ever had a visit from the Men in Black?
A visit? No. A phone call? That kind of strange. Yes. I was investigating human mutilations back in 07 or 08. And I got a phone call one time, and this guy just told me I should, you know, take up another hobby, and hung up. And I called the number back because it was on my phone, and no such number existed. Talking about human mutilations is like taboo in the world of ufology.
Why is that?
Well, it would kind of say that, you know, our space brethren there are malevolent. I mean, and it's not just 1 or 2 cases. There's quite a number of cases of human mutilation. And the human mutilations are the same as cattle mutilations. I mean, the same parts are taken. The individual or animal is alive when it happens. That was proven with a horse case and 2 detectives out there, and an eye was missing. And the one detective said to the other, "Hey, shouldn't the viscous out of the fluid from the eye roll down the side of his face if he was laying down on his side like he is now?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, how come his is running off his nose?" So that means the horse was standing up when it was done. I investigated a case in South Dakota where a young lady was riding at an indoor ring with her horse, just stopped the horse and dropped the reins, and he just stood there, and she ran down to get something in the paddock, you know, like a curry comb or something like that. And when she came back, half the horse's jaw's missing. Horse never said a word, never mumbled anything, you know, no whining or screaming or anything like that. He was exactly where she put him. He didn't move. When I got those pictures, I freaked. I went like, wow. I mean, a horse jaw is big, and it was gone. Completely gone. they couldn't save the horse, but just the idea that that happened, and she only walked 25 feet from where the horse stood to where she had to go get the curry comb and walk back. The vet that came to the scene talked to him, and he said he has no idea. He said, because that cut was surgical, absolutely surgical. He said it's not like, it's an indoor ring, so there's no nails or anything sticking out so anybody can get hurt. I mean, those rings are smooth as glass, and there was no obstructions that, and if that was the case, where's the missing part? But that was a little eerie, that the horse never did anything. Never whinnied, never whined, never got upset, never moved from where he was standing. Reins were still on the ground right where she left them.
Did they have to put the horse down after that?
Yes, they did, yeah. Mm-hmm. He clamped off some veins, but he said, the horse at that point was just, useless. It couldn't use its mouth. The whole left jaw from the jowl all the way down to the front was gone. It wasn't there, and I have the pictures of it in color.
Oh my goodness, that'd be disgusting to see. Be absolutely disgusting to see.
Yep. So, when I say about malevolent and benevolent, I mean, they have to be malevolent to do something like that. And why animals over in England, and this started about 5 years ago, where sheep were being found, butchered just like cattle here, and with one exception, above the ear, one ear, would be a triangle like hole, and the brain was missing. And we've never had any cattle mutilations reported where a brain was taken.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Gary the Spudger has an interesting question here. He is asking, what would you do if, while you're out investigating, you came across a baby Bigfoot or Dogman?
Bigfoot, I have no idea. Dogman, I'm going to throw a tennis ball and yell sit, and I'm going back to my truck.
They pretty much get the hell out of Dodge.
You got it. Fast. From the descriptions, these things show no fear. I mean, the size of them, you'd never outrun one. I mean, 8 to 10 foot tall, built the way they are. I mean, they're built for speed and strength. So I don't think you'd stand much of a chance. Even if you saw one face to face, nobody's going to ever know about it because you're not going to be around to tell them. I don't know what I'd do. It's the same thing with Bigfoot. I mean, there's people that say they've, been maybe 100, 200 yards away from a Bigfoot, but, they said it just lumbered on by and, walked into the woods or something like that. Bipedals don't do that. They come out on you. Every report that we have, and I'm pretty sure every report, they'll just step out of the woods and stare at you, or you'll be in the woods and they'll be standing there looking at you. And they've been accosted by guys with guns, park rangers, armed, hunters, armed, high-powered rifles. And the people that are carrying these weapons, they all say the same thing. A voice in their head tells them, don't shoot, or it's going to get real bad real quick. And they don't.
Let's go to the Devesk in our chat room. Outside of the cave systems you and your team are checking out, is there any area in the Northeast that you really want to investigate but you haven't yet?
There's a couple spots, a couple counties in Pennsylvania, and there's a couple down along the border, Maryland, that we want to get into. State forests that had reports, and some of them go back a little bit. Some are current, but our research area, when you look at it on a map, if you look at it on the internet site, I mean, it doesn't look very big, but when you look at it on a map, it's 180 miles by, 150 miles by 80 miles. So it's a lot of territory, a lot of caves, a lot of abandoned towns. I mean, you know, these things could be anywhere. Anywhere. They could, you know, when we first started, I thought, well, maybe they're just something people are seeing that don't really exist. But then we had a case where, you know, two gentlemen saw one eating a roadkill. So if it's eating a roadkill, it's got to have food. It's got to sustain itself. So whatever it is, it is.
All right. James is asking if there's any new leads on the Todd Seas case.
No, not anything new. Still trying to locate one family member, but that's keeps drawing a dead end. So, not going to ever give up on it. I mean, I want an answer. You know, I want to know what it was and how did the guy that was, you know, a mile away and places surrounded and crawling with over 200 searchers looking for him, horseback dogs, cadaver dogs, show up in his own backyard that they had to walk through to get to the mountaintop. Or I have the first case of a real zombie.
You just might.
Mm-hmm.
You just might. You never know in this strange world, my friend. Chris Mo is asking, did anybody find anything, a clue, something that would stir us in the direction of the monsters that do killings? Like, do we have any reported... Well, let me rephrase this. Do we have any reports of monsters actually killing people?
No, we have a lot of dead people, but nobody knows what killed them. I'll bring that lady up again from North Carolina, the school teacher, or Sunday school teacher. I mean, she's just walking home from church, and then they find her later, and she's just like ripped to shreds, and they still don't. I mean, they took all kind of DNA. They tested, you know, for every type of animal that crawls or creeps or walks around in that area, and nothing matched. So what did her in? They still don't know. That particular area of North Carolina has, you know, I would say a sizable number of missing persons that are never found. But with all the goofy people running around out there, that's not, I guess, beyond a human could do it, but it just seems a little strange that a human would have that kind of strength to shred somebody.
And yet, there's still that mysterious case of that little boy in North Carolina, and nothing has really ever been said about him surviving 3 days in the winter without any frostbite, without any hypothermia.
Right.
And a bear that was allegedly there to keep him warm.
Now, I you know, it doesn't take any rocket scientist to figure out a bear, a little kid, that would have been a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
That would have been it. I mean, he'd have grabbed up on that kid and just took him off somewhere and ate what he wanted to, buried the rest, and came back later to finish it up. So what was taking care of that kid? And that's the next county over from where the lady was shredded. Matter of fact, it's right on the borderline of that county.
I wonder what happened. That just seems way too familiar. Have the police ever spoken, Butch, about that little guy and given any updates whatsoever?
No, not on that one. And on the older woman, the last thing that I saw that was current was the police were asking for donations to bring in other experts to look into this. Evidently, it's a small town sheriff's department, but they were asking for donations to bring in experts from different places to look into what happened. and, you know, to check out the DNA, maybe something they missed or their crime lab missed or whatever. But as far as the little boy, But then again, you know, you can find those cases in Australia by the dozens where, you know, little kids playing in the yard with his sister and, you know, they're running around the house in a circle and the mother's at the window watching them come around the house and go around the house and go around the house. Next thing you know, the girl comes around the house again, but no boy. They never found him either.
That happened in Manitoba as well a number of years ago that David Paulides had reported on. So this leads to Gary's question. As we got about 3.5 minutes here before we go to break at the bottom of the hour. Butch Witkowski is our guest tonight. Gary is asking if you think some of these cattle mutilations are done by cryptids.
I would say no, only because of the Brazilian case, which was well documented, photographs, autopsy reports, forensics, everything on that one. The individual was mutilated exactly like a cow. No different. Whatever was missing from a cow was missing from this guy. One of the things that has always been struck me as being extremely strange, not only in the Todd Cease case, but in the Guadaparanga, Brazil case of the gentleman there that was butchered, was that these bodies, you know, of course, blood-wise, no, but they weren't in any real states of decomposition. Now, the temperature the day that they found the guy in Brazil on the island at the Guadaparanga Dam was 106. And they said, the forensic people in the autopsy said he was dead for approximately 40 hours. Now, 40 hours and 106 degrees, that body should have been, you know, the size of my Explorer. And when you look at the photographs of the body, I mean, there's nothing other than the missing parts. I mean, he doesn't look like anything in any state of decomposition. So then you have the Tatis case where he wasn't missing near that time. I think it was 34 hours total. And he was in the deep stages of decomposition. So how do you explain that from a forensic point of view? And we've talked to many scientists, forensic guys about it, doctors, showed them the autopsy reports, the whole 9 yards. And, you know, they just shake their head and go like, I don't know. I have no idea. So if they don't know, well, hell, I'm not going to know. But it just seems strange that there's let me put this into this. There's a researcher in Puerto Rico that I've been corresponding with for now 2 years. He is also a scientist, and he thinks that there is something that they're taking from bodies, both human and cattle, and sheep, whatever they're taking. Some part of what they're taking is something that they need. Now, it's not like they need to autopsy a body to make sure that we're human. They know what we look like, probably inside and out. But he has a couple theories of...
Butch, hold that theory. Hold that theory right there. We'll continue that. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues on Spaced Out Radio right after this.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today. We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate you taking the time to hang on out with little old me and everybody else who's listening on in. We want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. It's our brand new handle. And on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Tonight we are talking with Butch Witkowski. Strange Days happens at the end of every month, where we hang out and talk all things strange and weird with Butch. And we're getting to your questions now. So if you're in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, put your questions in capital letters and we will get them off to Mr. Witkowski. Welcome back, Butch.
Thank you, sir.
We should give your website a plug too, uf4cop.com. Devesk is asking, are there any reports of Sasquatch or bipedals from the Michaud State Forest close to Gettysburg?
Yes. Both. Yes, both.
Could you elaborate a little bit?
We haven't gotten down there yet, but the Fortean team has gotten some reports. We've gotten a couple of reports. And they all fit in with other reports that we have. So it's just a matter now of getting down and, scoping out the area and talking to a few people, maybe getting a hold of the rangers or whoever's taking care of that down there, probably the state, and, see if they got anything they can tell us that's going on. But yes, there are reports in the Michaud State Forest.
Are they as aggressive there as the dogmen or the bipedal canines in your area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't that just pleasant? Isn't that just pleasant? Because that's exactly what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's exactly what you want when that happens. All right, let's go over to James, who is asking if you or any member of your team has ever worked with David Paulides on any 411 cases.
I did when I was going through missing persons here in PA. And Dave was kind enough to send me a map with PA and his book on the Eastern 411. So I've talked to him a couple times on different things. So, yeah, I have.
I got a question in regards to David Paulides. There's not a lot of people out there, Butch, who are doing what he is doing. And yet... Nope. Why do you think that is, considering there's so many strange cases of missing people and nobody has, I don't want to use the word copycat because I think that's wrong because, he's the only guy really doing it right now. But I'm just wondering, why do you think nobody else has taken on this task in any other way?
It's a lot of work, a lot of travel, a lot of work. Dave's also retired, so, he has the time. And he does a great job on his research. I mean, he's one of those guys that, he keeps at it until he talks to the person he needs to talk to, So he's on the go all the time. I mean, sometimes I have a problem getting a hold of him, and then I'll hear from him like a month later. Like, did you send me an email? One of those deals. But he's doing it the right way. I mean, he's documenting everything, and I'm sure he's rubbing some skin raw on the other side of the people that want to keep that stuff quiet because these state parks make money. And they don't want people being scared that they don't go into those state parks and spend money, so...
I guess you could say that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could. All right. So with the fact that, there's all this going on and there's all this news about people who just disappear. I mean, I'm just surprised, though, that nobody is... Does it take a former police officer like David to do something this special?
Yeah, he had a lot of contacts when he first started in the parks area. So he kind of had to step up that, you know, he could get right out there and start asking questions. And, you know, even if people didn't have answers, they'd turn him on to somebody else who might, which is nice when you can get that kind of cooperation. And it depends a lot on the investigator. I mean, it depends on how you approach the individual you're trying to get information from. I mean, some guys are just, you know, hard asses, and they just demand that you tell them what's going on. And then you got guys that use a little finesse, and Dave's one of those guys.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. Gnome Squatch is asking, do they find any insects around these animal bodies that have been mutilated?
No. Predators will walk past these bodies and not touch them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a radiation to them or something?
Nope. No radiation. Nope. No radiation. No EMF detection. No radio frequency detections in the area. No blood, or very, very, very little blood. I guess the one that always stuck out to me was there was a cow that was out in the pasture, and it snowed. And I think it was like 6 inches, 7 inches of fresh snow. And the farmer spotted the cow from the roadway, and he walked in, and there were no footprints, no blood. Matter of fact, the cow was still putting off steam. It was still warm. So how did that happen? And it was butchered, you know, just like every other cattle. Eye and tongue, you know, anal area, udders, all that missing. But the cow was still putting off heat, and there was nothing around that cow. No footprints, nothing.
Your best guesstimation, is that alien? Is that what's causing that?
Yes. It's first of all, the wounds tell a lot, and many doctors have been questioned. Many companies that do laser surgery, produce laser surgery equipment have been questioned, and they all say the same thing. We don't have that kind of technology. If, you know, you look up some of the photographs of the animals that are on the internet, like that one doctor said, he said, you know, cows have 3 stomachs. So he said, if I had to remove the udders from that cow, he said, I would surely cut or nick one of those stomachs. He said, here you have a perfectly round hole around the udders. The udders are removed, and there isn't even a nick in the stomach areas. So he said, no burns from a laser, because a laser, you know, cuts and burns, cauterizes. There's nothing cauterized. I mean, there's a really good picture of a cow with a missing eye, and it just looked like somebody used a very sharp cookie cutter and, you know, removed it. And, I mean, it's a perfect circle. And most veterinarians say couldn't cut a circle that perfect. Now, if you had an industrial laser, but it would still leave a burn, which these don't have, an industrial laser would be the size of a small bus. So no tire tracks, no footprints, no predator prints, nothing. And I have yet to see a report of a mutilated animal that was attacked by a predator. So they just walked past a free meal. Now, I heard one researcher say that it was done by blowflies. No way. Impossible to do that. Blowflies. And it wasn't a predator kill, because predators, first thing they go for is the soft stomach. They just bury their head in there, open it up, bury their head in there, and eat what they want. But these animals are not done in like that. There are certain parts that are taken, and those are the same parts that are always taken. a doctor down in Puerto Rico with his theory that he's been working on for I don't know how many years now. He says he feels through his research that there is a connection with the viscous body fluids that are taken, the parts, the makeup of the parts, anatomy, bile, and serotonin. And he said he just hasn't gotten to put those together, but he said that's the only four things he can come up with that match. So why would they need those? Is it some kind of concoction, or why would you just study those four parts, but you take all the other parts? You're just taking fluids. And like I said, the only place we'd ever had any reports of a brain being missing was in England with the sheep. No cattle here have ever had that. There was one report, I can't remember where it was, where a head and spinal cord were removed all in one piece.
Oh, weird.
That'd be kind of tough to do.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Butch Witkowski is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Let's go to another question. Andrew in the UK is asking Butch about whether you get reports of demons and how you deal with them.
I only had one case that I got involved in where I'm pretty sure there was demonic activity. It was a couple that they were antique dealers, but the antiques they dealt in were devil worship, devil's pictures, the Inquisition. They had some type of an entity in the home. They had a casket in the attic. They had jars of dirt from freshly dug graves. It was strange. They had Haitian death masks. They had Haitian blood cups. I mean, the place was like a museum of evil. And that was the only one I was involved in. And he was studying Kabbalah. She was a Roman Catholic who turned to witchcraft. Her mother was a witch. I mean, when you walk in the house and you see a copy of the Malleus Maleficarum laying on the table, you're in the wrong place. But it was bizarre. Took a lot of pictures. They showed me all their stuff. And it came down to a point where I asked them if they had purchased anything recently when this all started. I mean, he grew up in this house all his life. His parents bought the home across the street, so this was his home now. But it was where he was born. And they never had any problem there. He never had any problem growing up. It's just when he brought this Haitian death mask home, which was made out of human skin and ram horns and God knows what else. So he wound up getting committed. I don't know what became of him after that. The phone numbers changed or they moved, one or the other. But all I know is the time I was there, it was not pleasant.
You got the hell out quickly, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And then he sent pictures. He was in the kitchen making something to eat. Wife and kid weren't there. They were at her brother's place. And he felt like he was being watched. And he turned around and looked through a doorway, and he saw two, I'll use the word individuals because there's no description that I can give you, two individuals standing in the doorway. And he had his phone laying there. He picked his phone up to take a picture. Well, they weren't there. So the why or wherefores or why and why not if he did this was he went into a rear bathroom where there was a standing mirror, the lady dresses in front of, one of those that swivels, and he brought it out in the kitchen and he put it exactly where he was standing, and he could see them plain as day in the mirror. They were still there. One was a little taller, one was a little shorter, and he took a picture. And he got the picture, and he sent me the picture. And shortly after that, he was committed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Let's get to one more question here. This one comes from Joey in our Space Travelers Club. Bigfoot gait analysis indicates they could possibly move quickly on all fours. Have you ever discovered any handprints alongside footprints?
I have a cast of a handprint and a footprint taken at the same location, but it was kind of on a hill, like a little hill from the roadway going up to a meadow, where the 1 foot to get started and then a hand down for like balance or maybe a push off. Trust me, the hands are as big as the feet. And other than that, I only know of one other where that was in Indiana, I believe, Indiana. Yeah, Indiana, where a family was camping, and they thought they saw something by a creek, but they didn't really know what it was, and they thought maybe it was a deer. But anyway, they went down that morning to get some water, and there was 2 footprints and a handprint, a full handprint. But the guy took a photograph, and that's about it. Never cast it. And matter of fact, never talked about it to anybody for years. And of course, it wasn't there anymore. But he copyrighted that picture. I don't think anybody's ever seen that picture. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Interesting. All right, this leads to Fitness Girl's question for you. Butch, have you ever been warned away from any investigation? If so, which ones?
It was the human mutilation cases I was warned away from.
That it?
Yeah. Yeah, nobody else has ever bothered me on anything else, just that. I did have a goofy call one time from Skinwalker Ranch when Bigelow owned it. One of his investigators called and wanted to know about a case in Pennsylvania, a UFO case, a sighting case that I had. And I told him what I thought it was, a hoax. And he just said, and I asked him why he called me, and he said, well, we picked it up off of MUFON, and blah, 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 blah. Thank you, goodbye. That was about it. That was the only strange one I ever got, other than that phone call.
What do you think would push whatever alphabet agency to the limit to warn you about leaving a case alone?
If you stumbled upon some real evidence, like a piece of something or a really good photograph or a location that you shouldn't be in, that you found some type of extenuating circumstances and evidence, then I believe you'd get a call to talk to.
What's the purpose of doing that today, though, with the information age? I can understand pre-internet or even in the early days of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can understand that.
I think it's just to keep people in line. If they get to 1 or 2 people that are really well known in the area of study, whether it's UFOs or whatever, and they, put the fear of God in them, they'll pass that along, and I guess they'll figure that, if they pass along enough people, that the original person they dealt with will just be ignored. It's really dumb because, like I said, the military guys are coming out now, and people that were involved in this, back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they've talked. So I guess they have a reason. Whatever the reason is, I have no idea. You always hear the thing that, well, if we tell people about it, they won't be able to handle it. Well, I think they can.
Is that why we don't hear of as many Men in Black sightings anymore?
I think so, yeah.
So that may be an obsolete program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, possible. And then again, there's probably, with the way the internet and electronics and, you know, the ABC operations operate today, they don't even have to talk to you anymore. You know, they can watch you with a satellite.
Or remote viewing.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been remote viewed?
That always kills me because they say, well, remote viewing never happened. Caca.
Have you ever been remote viewed?
No, I haven't. Matter of fact, it's kind of new to me. In one case where it was used, that I was involved in the case, I was pleasantly surprised that the individuals that were doing it just shared a little information with me to tell me how it works. And pretty spot on. But there aren't that many around. I mean, you know, I've heard people say, oh, I'm a remote viewer, or I'm a psychic, or this, that, and the other thing. I will tell you that if you came up with 2 handfuls in this whole world, you're probably lying. It's probably less than that. And the ones that have been doing it for many, 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 many years. So.
It just seems so dangerous.
Have a gift.
I don't know, man. As we've got just over a minute and a half here to go before we go to break at the top of the hour, Butch Witkowski is our guest on Strange Days here tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Okay, so if the Men in Black are obsolete, and considering we now have all of this UFO talk that's happening in the mainstream, do we expect people to have those type of troubles with Men in Black or My Labs or anything along those lines, MK Ultra, or are they just so different programs? You got about a minute, Butch.
I think they're different programs. You know, one was made strictly put together to debunk UFOs. Others were, you know, put together to scare people. Other groups were put together to take care of the military that they weren't talking. So, you know, black budgets and black ops, they've been around from pretty much day one. And everybody thinks it's the Air Force that is the mainstay of the top secret stuff. No, it's the United States Navy. Has been since the 1700s and will be always. They are the people.
Well, we're going to see if anything weird or strange happens in the next little bit, especially if they end up getting that funding. I think that's where it's going to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Butch, I'm gonna get you to hold on right there because we still got to finish the story of the theory of the body parts too. We forgot about that going into question. So we'll get to that as well. We got Butch Witkowski for another 30 minutes here on Spaced Out Radio. Then we're getting to the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues with Hour 3 next.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there. The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the story you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter @Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website, and let's figure out what's going on together.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night, where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get bumblefucked?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblelicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go, kicking off the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and on the digital side on Revolution Radio and TalkStream Live. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. It is oh my goodness, I accidentally erased it. What is it here? Fluorescent. Fluorescent is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight from UFOcop.com, we have Butch Witkowski, the man, the myth, the cranky old legend of the Monster Hunters, coming on in to talk all things weird and strange. Butch, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
No problem. Hey, you know, I accidentally forgot because there were so many great audience questions. You know, going into the last half hour, we were talking about, you know, your theory on what's happening with the body parts for a lot of these animal mutilations and human mutilations that seem to be going on. What do you think's happening?
Well, I kind of agree with the guy in Puerto Rico, the doctor down there, that he found, not from actual mutilations, but from the parts that were taken, that certain body fluids, he thinks there's a way to combine them to build up serotonin. Now, I don't know what he means by a buildup, but he said he always thought it was strange that the same parts were taken all the time. There was no deviation. In other words, they didn't take the lower stomach or the upper stomach or the heart or the lungs or the liver or anything like that. It was always the same parts all the time. And he evidently stumbled across something in those fluids from bile and body parts that he thinks make a connection to serotonin. Now, I know he's been working on it for a couple of years, so, you know, I just wish him a lot of luck. I mean, if he could come up with something to say, well, you know, maybe this could be some type of a nutrient, that would go a long way. But right now he's still putting it all together. I mean, he has a lab to his disposal, so I guess when we do get an answer, it'll be something that's worth looking into.
Getting back to these mutilations for a minute,
mm-hmm.
Are there patterns to them you've been able to figure out, or has anybody been able to figure out when they're happening, why they're happening, certain times of year, maybe certain types of weather?
Nope. There all types of weather, all types of situations. There's been guys that let their cattle out in the morning, out into the field, And one guy in particular left his cattle out, as he does every morning. And he went in, ate, did a little paperwork, went out, and one of the cows was laying right in the pasture by the barn where he just left them out, mutilated. And I think over a period of time, I believe he lost 14. And I guess when you talk to people, they say a herd of cattle and he's missing 14, and well, that's not a big deal. A cow costs a lot of money, and insurance don't pay for that stuff. And you know, the old story for many years was, well, it's a bunch of devil worshippers running around getting parts for seances and rituals and stuff like that. Well, that's just nonsense. I mean, where did they get that kind of technology? You know, but the one thing that always bothered me, and I mentioned it to the doctor down there in Puerto Rico, that I said, you know, predators won't go near this thing. And what happens to all the blood? I mean, there's so very little blood there that it doesn't even make sense. If anybody's ever saw a cow butchered, I mean, we're talking gallons of blood. We're not talking just a little specker here or there. And why no other body parts? Why is it just, you know, the eye, tongue, jaw, ear, anal area, you know, sexual organs, udders? I mean, it's the same thing all the time. When they're found in a spot where it just snowed and there's no footprints or anything like that, but there's the cow and he's all done in. Well, how'd they do that? It's been snowing all day and all night. I mean, when the animal's found, it's still snowing and the steam's coming off it because it's still warm, so it just happened. There have been cases where researchers that got on the scene pretty quick, and I don't mean like within 10 minutes or something like that, like maybe the next day or something, and they get EMF, you know, electromagnetic readings off of the cow. And then, you know, they're tracing it, and the EMF reading is like moving around. So what's that all about? And then, of course, it disappears. So, and there have been, and I can't even remember how many, where there's cattle mutilations, there's something in the sky. Bright light, ship, triangle, orbs.
I mean, this sounds demonic.
It's friggin' weird. I mean, of all that happened, both in human mutilations and cattle mutilations, and we don't even have a clue. I mean, there are, like this guy down in Puerto Rico. I mean, he's been working on it for a couple of years, and there's other researchers. This gentleman over in England has been working on it for a while. But you know what they're trying to do, I think, this is just my unknowledgeable answer to that, would be that they're trying to make a connection with the body parts that are taken. Now, whether it's just a section of the body part that they're taking, or it's a fluid from the body parts they're taking, or it's a combination of all, or maybe a sum. A lot of the cows that are done in are not older cows; they're younger. They're, you know, yearlings or 2 or 3 years old. Horses, same thing happens to them. So I think they're on the right track, trying to put together why those specific body parts are taken. Why would you take an eye? So is there something in the eye that attributes to what they're looking for, or you know, maybe a mixture of all this stuff together is going to come up with some kind of compound or fluid that's needed? We don't know, but at least there's people working on it, and that's the good part. And you know, cattle mutilations have not slowed down; they're still being found. You know, you got 600 or 800 head of cattle running around the field, and you see a dead one, and okay, it could have died of natural causes, or it's mutilated. Is
this phenomena, okay, you mentioned the UK, you mentioned in the United States. I know in Saskatchewan, here in Canada, there's been some talk of this phenomena happening as well. But do you look at it as seeing this as a worldwide phenomena, or is it something that is in central locations?
No, I think it's in specific locations. Because, like, I don't recall any from, like, Germany or Taiwan or anything like that, or Asia at all. But England, yes. Poland, yes. The United States, yes. Canada, yes. Alaska, yes. Puerto Rico, yes. So, for all the countries in this world, I mean, that's a relatively low number. Yeah.
And during these times, are there UFOs sighted in and around that time, or days before, days after?
Days before, days after, and during.
Has anybody ever claimed to have seen these cattle being taken up into craft?
No. I mean, for a while there, that was a big thing, that the cattle were taken up. They were done in up there, and then they were dropped. Well, if they were dropped, they'd have broken bones.
Just blows me away. Blows me away.
It's a very strange phenomena, and I mean, for the amount of, there are not many people looking into it. Chuck Witkowski is another researcher out in the Colorado areas that's looking into it. There are very few looking into it. I guess because all the years they were looking, nobody really ever came up with an answer. So I think it's at the point now where, like the few researchers that are working on why those body parts, and there's a couple of veterinarians also that are looking at what's the connection between those body parts when you put them all together. I mean, is it something they have in common with fluid? Is it something they have in common with if there's a mixture of fluids? And I guess that takes time.
Okay, the simple answer to the simple question to everything here, Butch, is how do we know it's not predators who are doing this? Cougars, wolves,
absolutely.
Anything like that?
Absolutely not. In a presentation that I put out, that I give at conferences, I have a picture of a cow that was attacked by a wolf, and it doesn't look anything like what these cattle are being found as. I mean, the wolf went right for the soft stomach. First he went for the throat, then he went for the soft stomach. He ate the insides out, and he took off. And there was blood everywhere. These things, there's no blood. It's just, I mean, cows have a lot of blood. And, you know, you would expect if something happened surgically, like happens with these cattle, that there'd be blood everywhere. There's none. There's no flies. There's no maggots. There's no predators walking around chewing on it. No birds picking at it. Nothing. They just lay there.
Fitness Girl has an interesting question here. She is asking, when people have been taken up on craft, has there been any reports of seeing cattle on said craft?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
Oh, this just gets weirder, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's a phenomenon that is, you know, full of questions with no answers. But then there are a lot of phenomena that have no answers, right?
Butch, today's thought of the day that we do on a daily basis is about, I believe there is and you and I have talked about this a long time ago. I believe there's an invisible string that kind of connects everything together, from UFOs and aliens to Bigfoot and Dogman to consciousness to gnomes and trolls and whatever else is weird out there, as well as the paranormal world. There's a lot of people and a lot of those who are investigating out there who do not believe that there is a tie-in or that invisible thread between each and every one of them. Where do you stand on that?
I think it's all tied in. You know, to say that ghosts are paranormal, but UFOs are not. So UFOs are normal and ghosts are paranormal. No, they're all paranormal. Well, paranormal really, we don't know what the answer to the paranormal is. I think it's all connected somehow, whether it's from, our space brethren or here on this planet. Been around for a long, long time. I mean, you can find these stories go back in history for centuries and hundreds of centuries. I mean, it's just a long time. I mean, they were talking about bipedals back in Roman times. So I think it's all connected. I don't know how, and I don't know the reason for it. But, I guess one thing that kind of always pops in my head is when paranormal say that UFOs are not connected to paranormal is because they don't deal with UFO reports. They only deal with paranormal reports. And, it goes the other way, too. So, or Bigfoot. Bigfoot isn't a cryptid. He's a long-lost Neanderthal that crossed over the ice bridge and down through Canada and into the United States. I mean, there's all kind of theories, and, you can give yourself a raging headache when you try to put them all together. But I always found out that common sense kind of plays into it a lot. And if you have like-minded people and you can discuss it with like-minded people, which is kind of hard to find sometimes because, some people are just dead set on the paranormal is the paranormal and that's the end of it. Witchery is witchery. UFOs are UFOs. Counting lasers, counting. None of them are connected. Now, I don't believe that. I believe they're all connected. Why, how they're connected, I wish I had an answer for that. It's just a feeling that I've always had that they're all connected. I mean, something flying across the sky is strange. Finding a dead cow mutilated is strange. Bumping into a ghost or whatever they do, that's strange. So if you put all the strange together, you're just dealing with the paranormal. It's not normal, period.
Well, I mean, in some people's worlds, it is normal, my friend. It is normal, and that's the fun part about it. That's the fun part about it, and that's why we do it. We've got about 5.5 minutes left with you tonight, Butch. The show is flying on by, as it always does. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days here on Spaced Out Radio. Butch, for people who are seeing these anomalous things happen, and maybe they're not believing their eyes, maybe they're walking through a forest and see a bipedal canine or a Bigfoot, or people who come across a UFO on the ground, what should they do? I mean, outside of reporting it to a group like you or whomever, what should they be doing for themselves?
Well, it depends on what they see. I mean, the stuff in the sky is pretty easy. I mean, satellites are always in a line. They're moving slow. UFOs are extremely fast. Their flight characteristics are absolutely outrageous. We don't have planes that can do that stuff. I think it's really up to the individual. I do find that when people see something or feel something or something's not quite right, or they think they've seen something that they shouldn't have, they really go out of their way to find somebody that they can talk to or make a report to. And it's not like we're going to give them an answer because, there's a lot of stuff we don't know either. But, there's so many groups out there that I guess the best thing to say to somebody is, try to find somebody local in your area that does that kind of stuff. If they can't, they can drop me an email right off of my website. They can message me on Facebook or whatever. I mean, I'm not hard to get a hold of, and if I'm not here, they can leave a message. But I have it set up, and all it does is take email. So I'm checking that all the time. And if I can't get an answer to them right at the moment, I will contact other people and try to come up with an answer for them. The best I can do. I know a lot of groups are awful secretive, and they don't want to share information, or they think their big chance at being on television is going to go down the drain if they even mention that they do something. I have no whims with that. So if somebody can't find somebody locally, maybe I can find it locally for them. Maybe they just aren't looking in the right spot. Or I can put them in the right direction, or I could answer their question. So we're real easy to get a hold of.
What about people who are afraid of filing any sort of report? What do you tell them?
We don't share anything with anybody. Even when I talk about reports that, like tonight, I'm not giving out the real location. I would never give out my location or anybody that's involved in it. I mean, as far as a witness. Because you do that one time, and you'll have people stomping all over your research area like they were hunting gold. So it's best to generalize the area when you're, talking about something. A lot of these places are very large. So, say, I'm up in Clearfield County. Well, okay, it's a county. Got a lot of woods, a lot of state parks, 6,000 square acres. Come on. They're not going to find me, but I'm not going to give them the information either. We don't share anybody's information at all. I've never done it. I won't do it. I mean, you got to have some kind of trust, or these people have to have some kind of trust with the person they're reporting to. And, but then again, I know groups that, take information and they'll publish it on the internet within 10 minutes. It's not right, but they do it. Or you'll see it on Facebook.
Yeah, that's always tough.
Yes.
But I mean, with a minute to go here on Spaced Out Radio with you tonight, what is the best course of action? Should people report it? Should they be afraid of reporting any type of information?
No, they shouldn't be afraid. I mean, because, let's just use this scenario. They see something in the sky. They don't know what it is. It acted strange, or it was a strange color, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, I've had Venus and Mars reported as UFOs 100 times. And once you tell them what they're looking at, they calm down. You told them exactly what they were looking at. They described Mars, or they described Venus, or the North Star, or satellites. I mean, and I think that brings closure right there.
It always is a good time. Butch, thank you so much once again for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. It is always a pleasure to have you here, my friend, and we'll do it again next month, and I look forward to it. I know you do as well.
Okay. My pleasure as usual.
Just like that.
And I'm so glad that I broke the record.
You broke the record on YouTube tonight. You broke the record on YouTube. I appreciate that, my friend. Butch Witkowski, Strange Days. UFOcop.com is his website. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Dave. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out tonight with all of you, talking everything weird and strange. I want to remind you that if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. On Instagram, follow us at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Speaking of the news, oh yeah, Captain Shirk has us raring to go here. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and even Ken and Karen. Yeah. A Missouri couple under fire for brandishing guns in their front yard of their home as protesters passed told police the group broke a gate to get into a private street, and then the pair said they only retrieved their firearms when they spotted multiple people who were already armed, department records show. Al Watkins, the attorney for Mark McCloskey and his wife Patricia, otherwise known as Ken and Karen on Twitter, said the protest was largely peaceful and the pair did not bring their guns outside of the home until two men in particular, both of whom were white, started menacing them. The McCloskeys, he said, were hesitant to come forward with the full story out of fear that they would disparage the importance of Black Lives Matter. At the time, their fear was these people, two in particular, that were marching along with Black Lives Matter protest participants, all peaceful, then they were acting in a fashion that was inconsistent with the message being given. My clients were not arming themselves against peaceful protesters. They were arming themselves about people with a really bad motive, a motive that runs afoul of the fundamental tenets of our country. After the couple brought the guns outside, Watkins said, others began threatening them, unaware of the reason behind the couple's interpreted need to arm themselves. My clients, though, had to deal with comments that were from two individuals that were perpetrating these acts of violence and not charging, but coming toward them in doing so in a fashion that was threatening, menacing, and in a fashion inconsistent with the Black Lives Matter message. The pair called the St. Louis Police Department shortly before 7:30 Sunday night. They told arriving officers that they had heard a commotion and, upon investigating further, observed a large group of subjects forcefully breaking an iron gate marked "No Trespassing" and private street signs, according to an incident summary. Yeah, the police report does not identify the McCloskeys as the victims. Once through the gate, the victims advised the group that they were on a private street and trespassing and told them to leave. The police summary further states the group began yelling obscenities and threats of harm to both victims. When the victims observed multiple subjects who were armed, they then armed themselves and contacted police again. Based on the couple's account, police labeled the incident a case of trespassing and assault by intimidation. According to the incident summary, no other police reports were filed that night. Mark McCloskey has said that a mob rushed towards the home as the family was having dinner and put us in fear of our lives. And that's where we get the famous photo of the AK-47. And the other lady, well, AK-47, gee whiz, that's an AR-15. What am I saying? Anyways, that's the famous photo. Yeah, if you have some sense of humor left, go on Twitter, hashtag Ken and Karen. There are some very creative people having some fun there. All right? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. We could all use a good laugh. Thankfully, let's be thankful here. Nobody was hurt. All right? Nobody was hurt. And thankfully that they didn't do something silly with those firearms. Let's just be thankful for that. Moving on. A boycott of advertising on Facebook, designed to get the social media platform to remove hate speech, will go global next, says its organizers. The Stop Hate for Profit campaign will now work on getting European companies to join the boycott and urge regulators to take a hard stand on Facebook. More than 160 companies already have agreed to not buy ads on the world's largest social media platform during the month of July, as called for by the campaign. Starbucks, while not officially participants in the boycott, say they will suspend advertising on all social media. Starbucks says it's working with civil rights groups to stop the spread of hate speech. Coca-Cola and Unilever announced a similar pause on Friday when Facebook saw its shares drop $56 billion in valuation in response to the negative publicity. Ouch. That's got to hurt the old shareholder's pocket right there. Free Press and Common Sense Media, along with the U.S. civil rights group Color of Change and the Anti-Defamation League, launched the campaign following the police-related slaying of George Floyd. Floyd, of course, a 46-year-old black father of 5, died after former police officer Derek Chauvin pressed his knee on the man's neck for almost 9 minutes during an arrest. Video of the footage of the incident, taken by a bystander, shows the police-related slaying, which triggered Black Lives Matter protests that have called for an end to all police brutality and systematic racism. The outrage in the U.S. over Floyd's passing led to an unprecedented reaction from corporations around the world, as its impact has been felt beyond U.S. borders. Unilever, for example, changed the name of a skin-lightening product popular in India called Fair and Lovely. The company has also agreed to an advertising pause as the Facebook ad purchasing boycott has gained traction. Jim Steyer, chief executive of Common Sense Media, says the next step in getting Facebook to take action is by seeking global support. The next frontier is global pressure. The European Commission this month already announced new guidelines for tech companies, including Facebook, to submit monthly reports on how they are handling coronavirus misinformation. The global campaign will proceed as organizers continue to urge more U.S. companies to participate. Jessica Gonzalez, co-chief of Free Press, said she has contacted major U.S. telecommunication and media companies to ask them to join the campaign as well. Here's a cool story. A Quebec man preparing to finally throw out his orphaned left hockey skate 7 years after losing its twin recently discovered the long-lost ice skate hanging from a sign. 47-year-old Jeff Meldrum, no, not the Sasquatch guy, different guy, said he was recently going through the sporting equipment in the basement in his Chelsea, Quebec home as part of his family's preparation for an upcoming move in July when he came across his single-size Ted D Reebok ice skate. Meldrum said the last time he saw the right skate was about 7 years ago when he was leaving an ice rink in a hurry when his son Owen, then 4, fell and injured his chin. He said he kept the skate in hopes of finding its twin. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away because it was brand new. I'd only used it like 2 or 3 times. Meldrum said he and Owen, now 11, were driving on a local road June 22nd, the same day he had decided to discard the remaining skate. And he spotted a familiar-looking skate hanging from a signpost at the end of a driveway. I said to Owen jokingly, "Hey, we should turn around. Maybe that's my skate." He did end up turning around, and to his surprise, in total Canadian fashion, he found his lost hockey skate. The driveway led up to the home of Elise Piquet, who had found the skate at the side of the road while walking 7 years earlier. Piquet said she suspected somebody might be missing a skate, so she took it home and posted an ad in the classified section of the local newspaper, hoping the owner who lost it might see it. Piquet said she also posted an ad online, but there were no responses. The skate ended up getting forgotten in her garage. She said she put it out there numerous times from the garage at the end of the driveway after a recent cleaning, and the skate was the only object that wasn't taken by passers-by. This is pretty lucky how this turned out, Meldrum said. I have hope, and when I believe that something will come around, it often does. He said he is planning to take Piquet a cake in thanks for her part of keeping the skate safe. A Swedish woman made a similar realization about a long piece of long-lost property in February 2019. Stella Waddell said she was visiting the an art gallery in Stockholm when an item in British artistry Mandy Barker's Sea of Artifacts exhibit caught her eye. The item, a cassette mixtape, was one of several objects found in Barker's exhibition which dealt with plastic pollution. Waddell said she soon realized the tape was the same one she had lost more than 20 years earlier during a family vacation on the Spanish island of Mallorca. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Road crews in Poland stumbled upon a lost 16th century cemetery in which the vast majority of the graves belonged to children. Incredibly, some of the skeletons still have coins in their mouths, a tradition that dates back to ancient times. The cemetery was discovered in a wooded area currently being cleared for Poland's S19 motorway, which is part of the Via Carpathia road project to establish a north-south corridor running all the way from Greece to Lithuania. A team from an archaeological firm was called in after construction crews stumbled upon human remains. Yeah, the cemetery, which dates back to the late 16th and early 17th centuries, is located near the village of Jezoe in Poland. Of the 115 individuals found at the site, around 70 to 80% were children. According to Poland's General Directorate for National Roads and Motorways, this discovery corroborates both written accounts and local legends describing a cemetery dating back to this period of time. The bodies were carefully buried in sandy ground and oriented along an east-west axis. The dead were laid down on their backs with their hands positioned at their sides. Some skeletons were found to have coins inserted in their mouths. It's certainly a sign of their beliefs. Arcadia archaeologist Katarina Olesk says the coins are called obols of the dead, or Sharon's obol. It is an old pre-Christian tradition, but it has been cultivated for a long time, even as late as the 19th century. It was practiced even by Pope Pius the 11th. Yeah, the dead ritual, which dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, represents a payment or bribe to Charon, the ferryman who delivers the souls from the world of the living to the world of the dead. The presence of these coins is certainly interesting from an anthropological perspective, but the coins can be used by archaeologists to timestamp a site. And in this case, the coins were minted during the reign of Sigmundsson the Third, Vasa, a Polish king who ruled from 1587 to 1632. Yeah, the coins were also found, which associated with John II, Casimir Vasa, who ruled from 1648 to 1668. One of the more intriguing graves contains 4 children laying side by side with their heads all oriented to the same position, but with their legs and feet all meeting together. The leftmost child in the grave appears to have died at a very young age, and it is possible that these 4 are closely related, perhaps siblings. It's kind of a sad but cool story right there. Given that we are in the midst of a pandemic that shows no signs of slowing down, one of the only safe things to do is expect this summer stands to be much different than everyone else that we've ever had, not the least in which the ways we interact with other people. By now, you may have ventured out into the world, take a socially distant walk with a friend, have a picnic, or even a hike alone, breathing in fresh air. You get the picture of what we're trying to put together here. You know, we're trying to make things as normal as possible. But there is a lack of public bathrooms out there. So get what's being promoted here. All right. So without the big issue enough of not enough portable urinals or travel johns are flying off the shelves, well, guess what? Adult diapers are becoming the bottom's new face masks. Apparently, this is the new stage of social distancing. We're done with the toilet paper. Let's get the Depends out, just in case you just can't find that place to do your business. Because even in the public bathrooms near you, if they are available, there is way too much time and not enough cleanliness. Thanks to the horror that is toilet plumes, we have learned that COVID-19 can spread through the air and through aerosolized droplets of fecal matter. Closing the lid when you flush is a fix, but trusting other people to do the same is iffy. So the backup plan now, adult diapers. Yes, we're talking about this. Apparently, this is a thing now. There is no way possible that I will be wearing adult diapers just because I want to have a walk in the forest. There's no way that I'm wearing an adult diaper to go to the bathroom in the middle of the supermarket. Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I'm just hanging out here. Oh, by the way, these are great tomatoes. I'm feeling them up. I forgot my rubber gloves at home. And by the way, I hope you don't mind. I just pinched a loaf. The smell is going to get through. This is horrible. What a horrible idea. How about this? How about we practice social distancing or social bathrooming by literally just doing our thing before we go out? How about taking some soap and water and washing the toilet seat? I've done that. It's a lot more healthy. Oh. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. I get it. Sometimes, you think you gotta, just, just kind of lean over and make things happen. All right. And a little bit too much decides to get excited and pop on out. Hey, that happens. It happens to all of us. And if you can't admit it, you're a liar. All right. But for crimini's sake, for the love of God, please don't be going food shopping with a diaper on and figure it's just okay to drop a deuce right there. It's just not fair. Think of your fellow humans around you. We must stop the ridiculous, people. Okay? We must stop the ridiculous. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Where did you find that story, Shirky Poo? Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. What's your thoughts on all paranormal, ufological, and cryptid phenomena being tied together? Next, we'll be leaving bags of diapers out for Bigfoot and Dogman, just so they're not polluting the forests. Start off with Alex. It's lazy. Looking at everything through one filter means you're not required to do the work. You're an expert by osmosis, which is really convenient for your YouTube clicks and gets you invited to do shows. I bet you he made that comment without a shirt on. Jack. I think they're all connected. Alex again, shirtless, goes and says, I think the opposite is more correct paradigm, that there are more than one answer, source, providence, and for what seems to be one phenomena. Gail, that it is possible as my cast iron firing pan, elf on a shelf, African violet, and jade necklace all being tied together. They have nothing in common. Wrong, Shirk. Wrong. They do. They do. They totally do. Quincy, it's all absolutely connected. Why this is the case is ensconced in speculation. I feel it all comes back to energy and the esoteric understanding of what's truly possible. Amen, Quincy. Gabe, after last night, I think the fairies are real. I think I see Navi from The Legend of Zelda. Jeanette, in the book The Spark, it's what they want. It's all related to frequency. William Pullen and his khaki pants. There are simply too many unanswered questions concerning all different aspects of the paranormal and the UFO problem to make any kind of definitive declarations concerning a connection. My position is that there is not a connection. Natasha, 42. I don't know what that means, but 42. Kevin, Dave, it's great. Cryptid, alien, ghosts, or even a drifter. I just love tying them up and having some fun. Oh, you sicko. Scott, I think it would be a positive move by all communities to recognize and support one another, but I also think that linking them all at this point might muddle their effectiveness. Brian. And he goes on to say, in this time and very early on, I have discovered that there exists a connection to all of it. There seems to be a unified element, yet unknown, but present. But I'll leave you with one thought. Resonance. Ooh, resonance. Penman, do you put mashed potatoes on your burgers, Dave? No, but I have had French fries on a Permani sandwich, and it was damn good. Try one if you're ever in Pittsburgh. Bill, that's how John Keel rolled. Tim, not all the same, only in a way that the separate subjects have no explanation or any real proof anyhow, but they're all intriguing to me. He says, UFOs, cryptid, missing 411, anything creepy unknown, not into ghosts, but no problem in the possibility, just no interest. Tim, another Tim, likely based on his experiences. Robert, anomalistics is the only way to go. Scientifically investigating phenomena that fall outside contemporary understanding proves insight in the unexplained. Also, studying stimulating exceptional objects and events enhance health and wellness and flexible thinking. Anomalous phenomena positively has commonalities. Bill Cardwell gets the final word tonight. Yes! Finally, a cost-saving idea. Close all the regional offices and just have one facility called the National Office of a Plethora of All Things Strange. I like it. Yes, I do. And that's why you're number one, Bill. And the final word of the thought of the day tonight. We'll do it all again tomorrow on Facebook and Twitter. You can check it on out. And a big thank you to Captain Shirk for grossing us out on the news tonight with the increase in diaper sales for adults. You can find all of her news at spacedoutradio.com. And, of course, to our good friend, Butch Witkowski from UFO Cop, coming in for Strange Days once again. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thaw rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, wherever you may be. Special thanks to everybody participating in our chat rooms on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club on our website, and all the snarkers and snarkettes on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. I know you got your diapers on tonight. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night, Mr. Bumblefoot. We need a favor. We need you to take us home. Remember, everybody, the Woo train may have docked for the night, but tomorrow we shall ride again. Your seats never expire. Your tickets are always taken. And if you want to bring a friend, you can bring them too. Always lots of room on the Woo train. Have a good night. See ya. Good night.